this game called life, I've been so compliant. Outside perspective, I'm so defiant. Before wife and my seeds, I was self-reliant, thinking all I ever needed was my help to buy in. But now, suns don't shine until I rise up. Make sure the sky is safe to open eyes up. Funny when you find what it takes to realize the power inside multiplies when unified. But to get rid of that need to believe in me, truly feeling unleashed, feeding the will in me. Time to finish the mission we have received, that we never need to question the fire, there is no chill in me. Message at the head of the letter, whoever is concerned, wanna watch the obstacle burn, step in my office. Ever since I banished my demon, I'm feeling all the room. Look around the room and see ghouls, but we are monsters. Try to get away when I hold it. Ears to the story, who listened when I told it. Now I seem to focus on this differently molded. I suppose it's the truth, and undeniably bloated. You feel hopeless, start to wonder if anyone noticed. Well, this is the point where you should own it. Find a pillar of peace, call the moment. There was a point when this mind would start to say prayers. Every single time you would pull back lands, cause what you find when unprepared is quite the opposite of ostentatious. Often sacred cause it gets lost in faces, can't ignore it. If you really want to explore, just be sure cause it's raw, not to waste it. Cause you can imagine what it costs to make it. But now, to get rid of that need to believe in me, truly feeling unleashed, feeding the will in me. Time to finish the mission we have received, that we never need to question the fire, there is no chill in me. Message at the head of the letter, whoever is concerned, wanna watch the obstacle burn, step in my office. Ever since I banished my demon, I'm feeling all the room. Look around the room and see ghouls, but we are monsters. Well, this is the point where you should own it. Find a pillar of peace, call in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever's still around. Jaren has obviously left.
Yeah, I think a reconvening of everyone, like all of the leadership, is kind of like standard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would either be, working with the Frost Maiden herself on either like doing any kind of like cleanup around the keep, or I would be getting ready to gather if a meeting has been called.
But however, I will send, I will reconvene with my clone as well, assuming she survive the battle.
She made it. The girls
Okay.
made it.
Nice. So while Idy is attending the meeting with the higher ups, Idy's clone will be organizing a celebration for like the troops, like a party.
Morale boost.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Like to commemorate the whole thing, and she's experienced with this kind of thing, so she's going to put those talents to practice.
Okay.
No.
Would you want something like that to take place tonight or the following day? What's your vibe?
No, I think it's important to commemorate now. Like,
Okay.
I'm sure there are going to be wounded people, but it's not meant to be like, balls to the walls, everyone like drunk
fucked
and
up.
breaking the whole city. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's meant more to be like a celebration, so that even people who have like non-serious injuries can participate.
Okay.
I think in that respect, Clue would probably ask Cerise to encourage sort of like the citizens that were just sort of underground to sort of assist in that, facilitate,
Okay.
since they are not wounded or hurt at all.
Sure. Now, for your records, and so you guys can also think about whom you'd like to ask to help you with things or ask questions to, the leaders that are remaining here now would be Cerise, Rebecca, Gogol, Lord Gogol, Ringelrun, Strongheart, the Frost Maiden herself, Ilya, her daughter, Nuderin, and Cherry. And
Wasn't
you
her daughter
cast-
Enya?
Enya, yeah. Ilya, who's that? My bad.
Ilya's the one from Fate. The lolly.
My bad. Shit. I was just watching Fate. Shit. Yeah, Enya.
Oh, right, Fate State. For a second, I was thinking Fate Zero, since it's more current to things I'm watching, and I was like, Ilya. I was like, is there Ilya? There might be.
Well,
I started thinking.
Ilya's mom is in that.
Ilya's everywhere.
No, wait, Fate.
Yeah, she's Ida's Veal and Kiritsuko's daughter.
No.
Spoilers. We're live.
I'll reveal later.
But yeah, so Cerise would head on down, probably with some of her other fellow Legus, and would encourage people down in the safe caverns to lend a hand in preparing the festivities with Idy's instructions, and in a few hours probably there would be something ready that would help everybody be a little bit more or at least would get their minds off of the recent battle and the losses that they have suffered, and refocus them on instead the success and the victory that came from this recent conflict. So I'll jot that down as Idy is a what's the MC? There we go. It is an MC. There we go. Blue, you wanted to speak to the leaders. Is that something you'd like to do privately? If not, I am assuming that there will be sort of a meeting at some point later in the day as well, where everybody will reconvene once more and talk about what has occurred.
Can't do it. Yeah, no, I'll just wait until the meeting.
Okay.
Really,
Jaxis.
Speaking of Newton and Sherry, really.
Perfect. Jax, you said you were helping the Frost Maiden clean up, essentially.
Yeah, I'm just like working with the Frost Maiden to just make sure the keep is like clean. Any of the like fallen soldiers are either, you know, tended to on our side or
Mhm.
the dolls are disposed of, so on and so forth.
Okay. You'll see that Cherry herself also, Nudoran's wife, she's running through the recent battlefield, healing wherever she can, helping out with as much as possible, and just a few minutes after she arrives also to give a lending hand, Nudoran himself steps onto the battlefield as well and helps remove some of the broken bits and pieces that have fallen onto the main road, helps carry hurt and fallen people to their respective locations, and is generally just trying to be as helpful as possible. The Frost Maiden herself as well, with you at her side, will herself kind of direct you towards a certain direction, will inform you that this needs to be moved, this person needs to be taken care of, could you forward this command to this person and get things going and moving so everything could advance a little bit more smoothly. And you are engrossed in these tasks, and you can tell me how you feel about it, but I would assume you're in a way proud to be able to lend a helping hand to the main even further.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Okay. And how about Maliaki? I think at this point you have to change your name.
Absolutely not. Is Nudoran easy to locate in all of this cleanup effort?
Yes, he is a mountain of a man, and there is a soft glow to him at this time. There usually isn't, but you might assume that perhaps due to the recent battle, there's still a little bit of lingering energy within him, or perhaps he's just exuding this aura to help people be a little bit more steadfast and help them. Well, he has done something like this before, if I'm not incorrect, as Clue had spoken with him before the battle even. He had emanated this aura of confidence and trust in one another, and he's doing so once again as he's helping everybody clean up.
Malachi would just go kind of find him and say, as a greeting, you fought well today. Could not have stopped her without you.
I could say the same thing to you.
Unfortunately, the king still has minions that we must deal with. We saw the acrobat today. The snake charmer and the many-faced are still out there as well. Do you have any idea how we could track the next one down?
Let me think here for a second. He's not necessarily a tracker or a star. I do believe we have claimed something from the acrobats that could help us track him. Is that correct? That should be enough in that case. As for the others, you had worked with them for a while, had you not?
For a little bit, but I never interacted with either of those two personally.
Have you gathered any information on how they move? Do they have some sort of personal headquarters or hideouts, or do they stay at the king's side at all times? Are they traveling folk?
Remind me, I think it was the Many-Faced who we were told usually sticks close to the keep, right?
Yes.
The Snake Charmer used to be based here and seems to have fled after their successful reawakening of Usually he's by his side. If we could find a way to separate them and take them out first.
He'll kind of place a hand on your shoulder and will guide you a little bit away from the others, closer towards one of the alleys. Strokes his beard a few times, kind of looking up. I'll be as frank as I can. I am, as of right now, uncertain how much longer I will be staying here for.
You've chosen to rejoin Shatrix.
I'm not sure yet. But seeing Tyrion again has, in a way, reminded me of the importance of my position, as well as these recent events have reinforced the sense of urgency of my return and sharing what knowledge I have with the others. I don't believe, honestly, that I myself will be able to clean up this entire mess in time before Pandora does anything else.
No, you're right. As much as we've appreciated your help, we will miss you. Your place is in Shatrix. They are your people.
Which is... Sorry. continue.
You're just like, they are your people. They look up to you.
This is not to say that I will not be helping as much as I can, regardless of what choice I make for my own future. But it might be in a different way than being on the battlefield with you all.
So
If that,
you definitely don't want to give up those hammers?
where did you just come from?
Definitely took him off to the side.
Jax kind of closes his eyes for a second at your question and then looks at you again. It's not that I don't. It's not that I wouldn't. It's that I shouldn't.
Well, listen, I mean, like, if you ever feel like taking a vacation again, I can at least stand in for you. I promise I'd give them back if you asked.
Jax, can you even lift one of those hammers?
I don't know. Are they super heavy?
They look super heavy.
You cannot lift these hammers if you are not worthy.
Are you
This is
serious?
fucking Thor.
We all have to try now.
Yeah, it's on. It's like the fucking scene in Avengers where they just take turns, like they're drinking shots and trying to lift the fucking hammer.
I think he just says that part a little too loud, and suddenly everyone's just like,
Now
Alright,
it's
well-
my turn.
The whole
he
city just
laid down the
springs up
gauntlet now.
from the sewers.
Listen, I think I can pick up at least one.
Your strength score has to be 30, and you have to be good aligned in order to pick it up.
Nah, you don't need to be strong. You just need to be pure of heart.
Nudoran will kind of shrug and open his hand in midair and grab onto nothing, and just a moment later you'll see materializing in his hand one of his great hammers. It is a beautiful golden hammer, really something that you would usually kind of see maybe in a workshop, but this is far larger, and both ends of this hammer have these kind of flat and rounded ends, as if he could use it either way to smash his opponents. And kind of place the hammer on the ground right in front of you, Jax. You'll hear the faint sizzling of the energy against the snow. Be my guest.
I go and try to pick it up.
Roll me a strength check.
Scott, you lied. You said you had to be worthy. Sounds to me like you just have to be fucking strong.
No, no.
The DC
There-
goes
there would
down
be-
based on your alignment.
Yeah, there would be steps, but the hammer doesn't even budge. Do describe to me what it looks like when you try to lift it, Jax.
So is the hammer like big or is it?
It is a large hammer. How
Right.
tall are you again?
I'm like 4 feet tall.
Hammer might be about as
That's what I'm
long as
saying.
you are tall. Yeah.
I was gonna say, so you see me, little Jax, walk over to it and like kind of just like try to like pull on it as if he's like trying to almost knock it over, and just unsuccessfully doing so. Obviously, he's like, I'm like almost hanging off of it.
He's gonna step up very sarcastically, like clapping his hands together, like, no, watch. This is how you do it, guys.
You know, like the flagpole like workout guy thing.
Oh yeah.
Where Jax is like trying to do that.
Love it. Clue, you step up to this hammer, and it also doesn't really budge, but for a moment, Ludoran's eyes kind of close ever so slightly, narrowing. Before he's like, "See, I told you."
Yeah, no, that wasn't gonna happen.
Can I pop in and try it?
Absolutely. Oh,
Yeah,
I
no, I really do love.
please.
This is my favorite thing.
Okay, so
You-
I'm
you
going
are
to.
an Oni.
Yes, I have like double. My carrying capacity is effective as if my strength was 20,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to enlarge myself to large so that my carrying capacity is equivalent to if I was huge instead.
Okay.
Which I think is. Let me just.
Ludoran whistles at that. Well, that's a nice trick you got there.
Yeah, it doubles my carrying capacity again. So it's as if I had either 30 or 40 strength, something like that.
Love it.
Who kind of
And I'm
just
good.
snorts like, well, if we're actually gonna try.
No, sure. I'm barely even doing anything. I could do much more, but I doubt this is a matter of strength anyway. I'm just making sure I'm covering all of my bases. And then she grabs the hammer with both hands, which since she's large now, I would suppose it is kind of like one hand sized.
Like one hand grabs around the hilt type thing?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And then the other like closer to the actual like metal thing.
Okay.
She's gonna try to lift it, like not. Well, kind of like plant her feet on the ground and then lift it up like with the. Like together with like the back.
Okay. This roll is now influenced by the fact that I saw ID's back the other day. So go for it. Roll me a strength check as well.
Yes.
Okay.
19.
There it is.
Okay. Now roll me a charisma check.
Straight up.
Yep.
15.
ID, you feel it budge ever so slightly, and the others who have magically gathered here now as well, you would also see the hammer on the ground kind of shift a little bit, and even Nudoran is taken aback for a moment, and he said, wait. and then it stops moving.
Huh. Maybe I should have tried harder.
You said you're from Han.
Indeed. Was it the horns that gave it away?
rolls his eyes. I can't believe you're giving lip to Nuderin. This is crazy. Rolls his.
We're tight now. We're tight.
You're tight now. Rolls his eyes. No, I was simply curious about something else, but
Oh,
nice try.
well, thank you, but now I must know, what were you curious about?
Well, I'm aware that your people refer to us as the Tainted Ones.
That is correct.
And I'm also aware that there are some of our old companions amongst yours.
Not amongst them. Exactly. You know how the story goes.
It simply makes me wonder if you have been touched by one of them the same way that this little one has.
Hmm. It would explain some things. But still needs to be confirmed. She sort of like shrugs and goes back to her normal size. But then again, the moon has been rather bright recently.
At that statement, you all look up, and there is indeed a moon in the sky tonight. And it is rather bright tonight. ID speaks true.
Moon's beautiful tonight.
I always am.
No. Malachi, are you not going to try? Since we're already here.
I'm wary of holy objects. It looks like it'll fry my arm right off.
And use your other arm. You don't have to
Maybe.
try really hard. I didn't try that hard. Now I kind of want to see if I could. But it's not really my style in the first place. It's kind of like the size of me.
I agree, it's not my style either. Swinging heavy things around.
More of a whip guy, huh?
Finesse from the shadows, darting in and out of combat.
How do I get good with the chains?
Anna will hold his own hammer, lift it effortlessly, and make it disappear in a short burst of light. Well, since we're all here now, although for the probably wrong reasons, I was just sharing with Malachi that I do believe our paths may be. I might have to leave soon.
Understandable. You do need to go back to your post, right?
I, at the very least, have to go back and speak with the others. But what has occurred here, but what we can do, and about what this means for me moving forward as well. I was also telling Malachi this does not mean goodbye, nor does it mean that I will not be helping you any longer. I will do my best regardless from the outside of Pernod.
If you, witness that you were here keeping an eye on Pandora, I would gladly tell my truth.
I appreciate it, little fox. Although
Real life.
it is technicalities. But as much as I appreciate the thoughts, I'm not sure how much weight your word would hold in the court of the exalted. But Tyrion was here. That alone should be enough.
I mean, he probably weighs less than your hammer.
Tyrion.
No, you asked how much he would weigh in a court of the exalted.
It is the metaphorical weight of one's word.
There's a meteor?
What?
Go help clean up.
On it, right away.
Well, regardless, I will not be leaving today, but in the next few days, I will be packing my things, my few belongings, and leaving my home behind. If there is anything I can be of assistance with until that point, let me know.
We will be sure to.
I'm going to look for my dear wife now and keep helping the people here. I do believe we are to meet in a few hours anyway. Salutes you all. Trots back toward the main road.
Well, I'll get back to my evil and sexy affairs.
Sexy? Evil? What?
What part of that is surprising to you?
Okay. Is the implication that everything you do is sexy?
Yes.
Okay. That makes sense. What makes it evil?
Depends on your definition.
It's mysterious and no one understands. I'd agree with the evil part. I'm not sure about the rest.
I don't really know what makes something sexy yet.
Don't worry about it. It's all subjective.
Statistical, more like.
Statistical?
Yes, if most people find it sexy, then it's sexy. In general, though it may not be sexy to some, but you can call it sexy.
Is getting fire shot at you sexy?
Fire shot at you.
No, that's hot.
It is literally hot, yes, and no, it is not statistically sexy. It may be sexy to some, but not to most.
He just starts walking away as if he's thinking about something. He does not explain.
Oh, how could that? Honestly, just like, pops her head out from somewhere.
Who did that?
Me, thank you very much.
Did you? Oh wow, that's a really. I did not get the voice.
Let's go to that training session you wanted. She excitedly goes along.
Okay.
Oh, I think Cool mentioned. Oh, Akita, there's a new technique I'm coming up with soon. We'll spar later.
Oh, okay. I will need a breather after I train with ID-san, but yes.
Oh, I haven't perfected it yet. Just give me a moment. Well, I guess that's what training's for. Never mind.
I have not perfected mine yet also, so
Well,
that is quite literally perfect.
I would appreciate that if you did perfect it, you never use it on me. Because that would imply I'm dead.
Yes, obviously, yes.
Okay, as long as
Do
we're
not worry.
clear on that.
I will not use it on... Actually, I'm not sure I'm going to use it on anyone ever after it's finished, but yes.
Jax would want to try to catch Irie as she's walking with Akuta to the training.
Do you wish to watch?
Well, that actually not a bad idea. Not why I was looking for you, but what I was gonna ask is, where are you from again?
I am from Han. The both of
Where?
us are.
Where is that?
It is in, we'll say, what you call Shatrix. I believe to you it would be in the southeastern corner. It is an archipelago. If you don't know what an archipelago is, it is many islands surrounded by a dense, everlasting fog.
Can you roll me a history check, Jax? It's not a difficult one.
It's not gonna be
Oh,
very
he's a
high.
difficult die.
Perfectly average yet again.
Now, you don't know offhand. However, just because of also where you are from, which,
Not far.
yes, it is actually quite close.
That's why, like, you said bottom southeast. I was like, that's where I'm from.
Uh-huh. So, you might not know Han itself, but you do recall stories of people that may have landed near where you live, and some of them wanted to venture out into those waters, and many of them simply never returned. That's kind of some of the memories and impressions that you have from that portion of Shatrix.
All right. What happens to the people that land there?
You mean those who come from the outside?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how many of you even try, but it is a very, very rare occurrence that anyone makes it to the shore. Those who do, again, it is very, very rare for someone to be able to cross into the islands. And even rarer still that they make it out. Not by our design. It's just the nature of the Curtain of Night. Those who do make it ashore, well, they try to make their living as best as they can in a foreign land that doesn't quite appreciate them.
So I mean, like, if they make it to shore, it's like kind of okay, right?
What do you mean, okay?
Like, you guys don't like
Kill on
skin
sight.
them alive and eat them.
Some of us do.
Oh my god.
No, I'm joking. Half joking.
Jax's eyes go wide for like a second after you say that.
There are some of us who indulge, but for the most part, I'm not going to say they get a very fine treatment, but depending on who they meet, they may be able to find a quaint, modest life. Not much hope of ascending in the social ladder, but they can survive.
Huh, all right. I mean, sounds like a place that I'd be down to check out, I guess. Doesn't seem too far from home for me, so.
Does that imply you are accompanying me on my journey home soon?
I mean, what's your game plan? Like, you're just gonna go there and stay there, or like?
No. I will go there, I will settle personal matters that need settling. Things that have to do not just with me, but with my position. And if I can get all of that sorted out, I will come back here, provided that at least one of you has come with me. That is the trade. You help me out with my thing, and I will stay here and help Pernoa out with its thing until the end.
I mean, like, I guess we'll see what everybody else has to say, but I'm open to it for sure.
I appreciate that.
I know I might not be the smartest of the bunch, but, you know, I can at least hit some stuff for you.
Precisely, and you are good at behaving and letting me think for you, which is more than what can be said for most other intellectually inferior people. So I actually quite like you.
Wow. That's a surprise to me, but thanks.
Now, do you have more questions?
Nah, I mean, I'm okay to watch you guys train.
Very well. I will explain more things about myself and about the place I come from with those who intend to accompany me, but only when we get to the final decision of that. But yes, let us go. Hakuto wishes to test her mettle against my unique talents. We head off to a training area where essentially Hakuto wants to have a sparring session against Airi and two of her summons at the same time.
Okay. Now, I'm really just keeping it open for you guys right here to act as you want, but you can also let me know whenever you are ready to move on to a meeting.
Yeah, I'd be fine to move on.
Okay, totally fine. Malachi, was there anything on your mind, or also fine to move on to the meeting?
Nope, good with moving on.
Okay, perfect. In that case, we will move to the meeting. So it is probably about 7-ish p.m. at this point, maybe 7:38, as you've all gathered once again in the main hall of the Frost Maiden's Keep. All the fellow leaders of the armies that you have, or well, not necessarily armies, of the reinforcements that you have called in are gathered here as well. The maiden herself is once again sitting at one end of a long table that she has summoned into the middle of her main chamber here, and there's a few seats that have been left open for you, and you'll notice that you are some of the last ones to arrive, so you quickly make your way to your seats, sit down, and the moment you do, the maiden will stand and address everybody in this room.
I am glad to see that all of you have made it. And it is now that I would like to extend my most sincere thanks to every single one of you for standing up for me, my people, and this land, to protect it against the grasp of evil that has attempted to worm its way into our midst. And successful we were. And tonight,
Kind of turns to look at you, Airi.
tonight is a night of celebration, of uplifting those who have made it, those who have come together to fight for one common goal against one common enemy. In the name of the Frost Maiden, I thank you all. And in the name of all my remaining people, we thank you all.
And she'll bow her head, this time at everybody at the table, holding that stance for a few seconds before she'll lift her head once again, her big owlin eyes looking at everybody almost at once.
If there is anything I can do to make the remainder of your stay a little bit more pleasant, please inform me. The battle is done for now, and I can redirect my efforts to your well-being in my domain. Furthermore, I of course do not presume, that all of you will stay here after tonight. But for those of you who will, and those of us who must, there are still battles ahead, and we must discuss the future of said battles very soon. I wish not for you to think about it tonight, but I wish for you to think about it tomorrow.
She'll hold for a few moments once again, looking at each and every one of you individually this time. And then she'll sit, leaving space for anybody else to speak if they so wish.
Well, I certainly have thoughts on the future, but you're right. That can wait for tomorrow. I think all of us have deserved a well-earned rest and some merriment, perhaps. Not everything needs to be business all the time, though perhaps most things.
Strong heart. Oh, sorry. Continue.
As a side note, I would like to especially thank our allies from the Feywild, the Prismere most specifically, who have come to our call and aided us in the best manner possible, even though this is not their home to defend, and it is a very dangerous enemy to oppose. So, my appreciation to them, and obviously my regards to their mistress.
Both Ringelrun and Strongheart smile at you at those words, and Ringelrun places a fist to his chest and will say, "And we will always return in case you need our help. You have done much for us, and this is the least we can do. In case you or your allies in this land ever find yourselves in need of immediate help, do not hesitate to reach out. Valor's call answer.
Thank you. That is very reassuring to know. As for our new friends from the Resistance, you too have impressed me. I was not familiar with your...
Well, familiar with what?
Not the fucking... I must apologize. I was not familiar with your game. I was not familiar with your people and your armies and your capabilities. I had only met with Makoto and Cumulus before. And I was very pleased to know your talents lived up to their reputation. Additionally, I must apologize for having you abandon your homes. I am aware it was a steep price to pay, but all the same, I am glad you saw that it was the best chance for the whole realm.
Lord Gogol will nod at you, especially at those final words. Yes, it was a difficult decision to make, but as you said, it seemed reasonable to gather our strength here alongside all of you. But do not discount our strength. The resistance will rise again in the east.
Oh, but of course. Now that we have the opportunity to build up our forces, we will of course make ready to eventually take back your domain as well.
I had a chance to check in on if the circus is active. Perhaps it's not too late to sway to make it back and prevent them from making further progress.
Ceres will jump in also because Lord Gogol talks too slowly for me.
Yeah.
Ceres will jump in.
I don't believe they should have been able to get to our capital quite yet, but it would be good to be able to take a look-see and see how things are progressing over there. I do agree with you. Probably we are still in time to go and help our people and defend our capital from those pesky clowns, especially if, as we saw, their leader is not truly with them.
There's also a chance we might be able to take the snake charmer. So soon, it's to be the right person.
That would be 2 snakes with 1 stone.
Now,
Go ahead.
I'm aware that there are some personal matters that some of us wish to attend to. Is time of the essence on these matters, or do we have a moment to catch our breath and tend to some of our own things?
Is that more referring to your party or
Just like in general about, going after the snake charmer and, continuing to whittle down the circus.
The longer we stay stagnant, the more chance they have to regroup. They had no reason to think we could defeat Ira. And the
We
psychics
do-
is
oh,
just
sorry,
killing
go.
now, too.
Cerise is nodding enthusiastically to everything you're saying. Keep going, girl.
We should take some time to regroup ourselves so that we're organized, but this is probably the best chance we'll get to keep moving forward.
I agree. I think right now we have a little bit of an edge as...
Did you ever tell her your real name?
Yeah, he
What the-
introduced himself when
Okay. I wasn't sure if it was Hayden or Malachi.
No, he used his real name when they met in Los
Okay.
As Malachi explained, this battle, well, not to be a bit of a downer, but against all odds, we won. I initially didn't think we were going to, but things went well. Everybody worked extremely well together, and somehow we are here now, with most of us still kicking. I do think there is a little bit of time for personal matters to be resolved if such must be done, but otherwise I do believe we must move swiftly. I, of course,
And turns to Rebecca and Gogol.
would argue that the three of us, alongside some of our troops, should at the very least check in La Sauvagerie. I truly have hope that the land has not yet been taken entirely, but we will have to double check. After that, however, once we have settled matters in La Sauvagerie, we are, I believe, free to help as much as we possibly can.
I think the issue comes that I doubt that they're going to be. I doubt they're going to let themselves be drawn out from us anymore. We're starting to connect parts of Pernal.
So we just start to fucking break their balls at their own homes. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, this lady's awesome.
That's Rebecca.
Do you?
I'm, well, for lack of a better term, yes. I don't think there's a way, or rather, I don't think they'd be foolish enough to start coming at us one by one anymore. And there's not many other places for us to go to track them down.
Well, I like that. Cerise, Lord Gogol, why don't we get moving soon? After the festivities tonight, of course, I hear it's going to be, as the kids say, a banger.
Do you know where your
As far as we're aware, the enemies on our front had no base. They were being magically... Sorry. They were being magically brought in by whom we believed to be the snake charmer, but turns out that was just a duplicate of sorts. So, at this point, I'm not sure if they even have reinforcements coming in any longer.
And there's the rub. They're a cautious type. They're not gonna just let themselves be caught with their pants down. So we're likely to have to press the issue.
And according to your calculations, there should be 3 and the king remaining, is that right?
The acrobat, the snake charmer, and the many-faced. That is correct.
Well,
Look on the world map really quick.
Yep.
Just
Which one is
so we-
it? It's this one.
Just so we can kind of look at like
Yeah.
what sort of left?
You are here. They are from here. My bad, Jesus Christ. They are from here. The king is known to be here. The acrobat had appeared here. And within seconds, Tyrion informed you that he was no longer there, but instead on the opposite side, which could be here, could be here, or could be somewhere here. Regardless,
And the
he
guy
made it
that flies
far.
The boat could be any fucking where.
The many-faced is said to be by the king's side almost always. And that leaves the snake charmer, who is, as of now, missing.
So, as the Frostmaiden said, I don't want to get too stuck in logistics right now because we should celebrate. But as of right now, we've starting to get Indiana stable. Hopefully, with a little bit of time, we can make it something of a foothold. It'll be difficult for them to come far north here now that the Frostmaiden has her followers here, us here. If we can get a better stronghold in the Savagerie, and from what I've heard from Batish, the dwarves and their island are situated. I don't really have the full information from that, and I was going to ask Batish, but
She expressed that she dealt with whoever was in charge of Krishnak from the circus, and so the dwarves, according to her statements, should now be free, per se.
Does she have any context there that could give us? How do the dwarves feel about Cronyuel?
Cronyuel. Now, I mean, I guess I'll explain a little bit of what Batish would know. The one who was in charge of Krishna from the circus was a mind-controlling folk, and so this one had, with the help of some Duergar as well, taken hold of the land of Krishna. They had initially infiltrated the place, somewhat looking like them, and then little by little began to take over the minds of some of the lesser or less important folk, slowly working their way up the ladder until the circus member themselves initiated the final step, which was taking over the mind of the royals of amongst the dwarves. And so they had kind of been puppets for this circus member for the longest time. And the moment Patish got in there, kind of quickly caught wind of what was going on and began a similar process as the circus member had done, but in reverse, in clearing the minds of some of the less important ones, and began working her way up the ladder towards some of the more important warrior folk, soldiers, and as such, eventually they were able to challenge the Duergar that had infiltrated the place, and were able to then challenge the circus member as well, and with a joint effort, they were able to defeat the circus member and free the minds of the remaining dwarves that had been brainwashed. And as a result of that, of course, the dwarves are not happy with what has happened. They are, Patish might say that they are a little bit embarrassed about what has happened, but truly, more than anything, they are pissed. And if there's one thing that you might understand about dwarves as well, is that once they are pissed, they will remember that anger forever. Although they might not always remember why exactly they are mad at you, but damn, are they mad at you.
Alright. With that information from Patish, whether it was given right now or from earlier, we will then continue to say, since we have a foothold here in Vienna now, Rivera is abandoned. La Savagerie. We obviously have a relationship. If we could get a contact in Krishnak, perhaps we can get a three-pronged advance on Cornwall soon. No longer we drag this out, the worse it gets.
I wanted to say something. Oh, Cerise. Well, also, something to think about here is there is a portion of the land that has not really been claimed by anyone necessarily. We usually just have to deal with bands of orcs and gnoll and the sort that come out of that land and attempt to break into La Sauvagerie. Sure, you have traveled through it. It is right to the west of La Sauvagerie. Some people refer to it as no man's land. What if, for the purposes of establishing a joint stronghold, we build something there, fortify it, and from there on, send our troops out? As far as I understand, we need not worry about Primavera any longer, as the elves are effectively not here anymore. Is that correct?
They are, yes.
Well, in that case, perhaps this might not be a bad idea. In that case, we can, one, keep an eye on La Sauvagerie, and Frostmaiden, correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds as though you are able to govern over your domain from almost anywhere within your domain. Is that correct? And that being the case, perhaps you need not be there, or well, here, at all times. The maiden would nod and say, now that my domain has been restored, I once again rule over it completely.
Alright.
Are you suggesting we undertake some sort of domain expansion for the Frostmaiden? Well,
I had never thought about it like that, but I do think that would be great.
it does sound like a fun little project to break the minds of those. I mean,
No.
make them join our righteous cause.
You know, sometimes I feel like you have it turned off in your brain and you turn it on just to like scare us a little bit.
Whatever do you mean? Anyway, I could... It seems like an interesting project to pursue, but at the same time, I do think it would be good for me to go pay a visit to these dwarves down there and establish a point of connection. I don't think I need company to do that in particular. It can be just a bit of a week-long activity, perhaps.
They may appreciate a person of short stature.
Well, yes, perhaps not all by myself. I think I could do with an escort.
Listen, you pay well enough. I'll escort you anywhere.
That is good to know.
Sounded
It sounded what, child?
like something I've heard in a brothel.
That makes sense.
You've been in a brothel?
I kill people for a living. And
You're
lots of people that-
7.
A lot of people that are sort of contracted go to brothels.
A brothel was
Also,
where
the
I
ladies
first
there are
met.
nice and they gave me free juice.
Yes, brothels have some of the best people around.
Yes.
Listen, I mean, that's what I've heard. I don't think I've ever been, but
Well,
you
we'll have
talk
to
about-
change that in Kristnak then while we're there.
There's nothing weird about brothels. The courtesans are very elegant.
Anyway, I am a little conflicted because I do think my talents would be very good for conquering this no man's land. I am no man after all.
My lord.
But
That one was a little bit.
I do think my particular talents might be a better fit for a bit of a tandem mission in Krishnak. I do believe between the Resistance and some of my colleagues and a few of the Frost Maidens, Arcane Might, you are probably covered enough to just deal with a few orc tribes or whatever you have.
I could handle them,
I also feel like these incursions may be of a appropriate reach. I don't want to dedicate myself to long, intense labor projects right now.
Alright. But
But
like we said, tomorrow.
yes, I do think we also need an internal meeting of the Eyes of the Beholder. After all, we are a part of this council, but we are also our own thing, so to speak.
Independent entity.
Yes. But today we celebrate.
Alright. Cerise, you owe me a cigarette, I think.
What?
Cherry.
Jax is going through it.
Yeah. Cherry kind of turns to you, Lou, and says, "Dear, smoking's not good for you."
I thought that too, but I get really anxious all the time. And whenever I can usually hear people talking from like different rooms, and that gets really irritating after a while. So it kind of evens me out more than anything. Who says this with a very straight face? He doesn't even flinch there.
Yeah, she looks like she's about to say something, and then she changes her mind.
Well,
Honey, I can create matter from nothing. Surely I can erase pollution from a child's lung. It's fine.
it's fine.
Cherry also looks at you now, ID, like, please. Girl, please.
Come on, guys. I really want to make this clear. You first sent me for a general, 2 generals technically, of the circus, and then we literally turned around to go fight a Sin from Shatrix.
Okay, but that's that and this is this. That's not a
Hey,
valid.
listen, you're doing good
No,
things
no.
with that. Smoking a cigarette is not good in any way.
No. We don't get to do half and half. It's either I get to fight the most powerful beings in the world and smoke about it, or you give me
No.
a pat on the head and I stay home.
Look, I don't even care about the smoking thing. You do whatever you want, but you can't use that logic. It just doesn't apply.
Well, how come?
Because they're entirely different matters.
Uh-huh.
It's not because you were doing something that is usually beyond the station of your age that you should be doing every one of them, because there is reason for one and reason for the other, but there are damages that need to be sustained and weighed in tandem. The logic doesn't apply quite the same. Not everything that is inaccessible to a child is inaccessible for the same reasons. And if you are bypassing one of those things because you have reason to, it doesn't mean you have reason to bypass all of them. But, like I said, I'm just saying this for argument's sake. I don't really give a shit.
I do kind of imagine this is still at the table and everybody's
Yeah, it
just
is.
looking at you guys like, is it our place to chime in here?
Neuter is like, is it lawful to let a child smoke?
Yeah. Is that order or not? Is there a battle happening to my right?
If a child tries to smoke near Neuter and it just doesn't work, like the cigarette just obliterates itself.
That's so good.
It's against the law.
Obliterate cigarette. New spell.
Technically, those laws don't exist.
I mean,
Yeah, we follow the 10 commandments here.
anyway, party it is.
I was serious about that series.
You two go argue about it somewhere else.
Cerise, you said?
Yeah, he clearly serious about that cigarette.
Oh no, that was Cherry.
Oh,
Yeah.
let's go. So we'll just he'll look at Cherry, and this is kind of he gives her like a look with his one eye now, of like, are you disappointed in me?
Give me an insight check.
It's like the pout slash.
Out slash. Not disappointed, just a little sad. Maybe that you've chosen this path in life.
Oh.
But she's also, I think she understands, and you will see this in her face. She understands that she's not your mother. So she has no real say, but probably wished you'd have chosen differently.
Oh, that's such a dilemma in his head. He's gonna sit on that.
Alright. Now, as for the party, as this meeting disbands, I would like you to tell me what exactly you had in mind for the party, since you are the one orchestrating all of this. I'm sure you have an idea, a thought.
Well, I had considered a few options.
I'm sure you have, so here you go. The stage is
If-
yours.
But before he continues, can you give me
Yeah.
GM real quick so I could change Clue's images because I have new art.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's just gonna boot you from the
Oh shit.
thing for 1 sec while I give you GM.
Booted.
I think assistant GM should be enough perms. Let me know if it's not.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright, you can continue.
Well, anyway, I had thought about the Krishnak move, especially because I do have the teleportation circle sequence for it.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And of taking back La Sauvagerie. I also thought that, like, since the Psychic Sisters were the ones who conquered Primavera, like, the city should be just up for grabs now. Like, the ruins of the city, perhaps, yes, but still,
Yeah.
you know, it's a whole ass dense forest. If we could get something to. Sorry, what?
Definitely pillage it.
Yeah, like, we could loot it. Second, if we could, like, make a pact with some sort of, like, natural entity to guard the place, we could just repopulate the city and have it be like a second, like, maybe not a full, like, city, but more like an outpost. So, like, if forces are invading from the south to reach Invierno, they have to go through Primavera first. So just like as a military city of sorts.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just that's just one idea.
Okay.
Currently, since we have talked about that, I do think perhaps one thing we could do is to have me and Jax go to Krishnak, negotiate with the dwarves, because again, I don't think this is something that the whole group needs to do.
Mm-hmm.
and then maybe the others. Oh god, now we're just 4 people, so that's just half and half.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want us to go hunting and clear out the entire of No Man's Land from just me and Malachi?
No, not you, not just you and Malachi, but the rest of the fucking Sauvagerie is gonna be with you.
No, I was literally not kidding when I said that. I was imagining they have the Sauvagerie to handle, and
Yeah, like to be honest, like what I'm actually a little disappointed I'm not gonna be there because I actually wanted to just conquer the orcs and gnolls and shit, like all like slime style. Like that time I got reincarnated as a slime, just like incorporating all of them into the hive mind.
There's one that's the ultimate greed. Consumes everything.
So like, I'm disappointed I'm not gonna be there for that, but yeah, kind of like, because I figured, like, maybe I'm wrong, but this enterprise of like kind of cleaning up the Sauvagerie with the resistance and then going to Nemus Land doesn't seem like a very, very big deal. Because Cerise was kind of like, yeah, like it's a place where nobody has really conquered, but at the same time, the things that are there, like she doesn't say like, oh, there's a fucking dragon, like just say like, oh, a bunch of orc tribes and stuff.
that's all I was saying. Like have dragons, just me and Malachi, because I was like, well, if it's not a dragon.
Yeah, because and that's something that I would, you know, in game would bring up in the like in a private meeting the next day. Heidi doesn't want to commit to something, to like a long, like large scale project right now, because she's like, I'm like almost there to being able to go back home, and I kind of need to go there soon. Apparently, Tyrion has given me some more pressing information, so she wouldn't want to commit to a plan that's kind of like, oh, we're going to take back the entire like fucking northern continent, or we're going to go back to like Svisenstadt, or we're gonna gear up to fight the king. So a more modest compromise would be to like spend the next few days getting the dwarves on board and then meeting back up, etc, etc, etc. Like, you know, she wants to just dedicate herself to projects that are meaningful and effective, but that won't, if she happens to finish acquiring the necessary magic to go back home during this project, she won't be bound to it for too long. That's sort of the vibe. So my proposals are basically this: either we split half and half, Krishnak and Nemus Land, or maybe we leave Lurgus to do the Sauvagerie thing, and we all, like as a group, go back to retake Primavera. It's my 2 proposals.
Okay.
And is this a conversation that's happening after the party, or are we talking about this at the party?
It would be the day after. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm just thinking, like, should we be resolving this at the moment, or?
I mean, up to you. I think the party can be flavored however you guys want it to. I was gonna let Heidi describe it as she wished, but...
There's definitely some stuff I want to do at the party.
Okay, sure. How about Heidi? Set the scene, and then Jax can do his things. And then, as that is wrapped up, we can come back to these ideas that I have jotted down. So,
okay. As for the party that Iris Clone has been orchestrating,
give us the vibes.
That has been orchestrating. She has been orchestrating for the troops and everyone else. I would think that most of the city is still like kind of in ruins. Just like the improvised quarters within the castle itself and the battle area, etc. And if there is like a common space, she would have just set everyone, like magically started bringing drinks, like summon a bunch of unseen servants to carry trays and everything else, gotten all of the old alcohol that doesn't expire and everything else that is in the castle. Probably like an appropriate ice platform that would be good for a stage of some sort. And then gather all of the people that have musical talents, like from different places, to sort of improvise together and play songs that are familiar to each of the different groups of people that are around here. She's gonna use a little bit of her magic to put like a little like light shows and stuff. Also make the environment a little bit darker. Obviously, since it's Heidi, it's going to have like, she's going to put some incense around, like to have like this hazy area around it with like chilling herbs that just put you in like a mood. But it's one of those, you know, it's kind of like jazz bar vibes, you know? Not like party hard, like jumping up and down, because most of these people are injured. But just everyone like listening to some good tunes. If anyone wants to dance, like there's a little bit of a space near the stage to dance. If anyone wants to go on stage and start playing music, they can do that. But there is a comfortable environment for people to be like together in small groups and talking. And obviously she's the clone will open with a rousing speech about how important it was for all of the peoples, the still free peoples of Brno, save a few folks down south, to band together and defend the last bastion of humanity against the forces of the Circus. And they have held together brilliantly and achieved a victory that has not been heard of in all of the existence of Brno so far. This was surely a turning point that would mark the vanquishing of the forces of evil in the future of this realm.
I love that. Can you say that last part again?
Absolutely not. This was not pre-written. I was just saying it. I don't remember the start anymore.
Vanquishing the evil. There we go.
Vanquishing the forces of evil. I've said it was a turning point to, vanquishing the forces of evil that are plaguing this land and get rid of them forever, or something like that. I was literally just making it up as I went along. I don't remember what I said.
Love it. Forevermore. There we go. Rapunzel, let your hair down. Okay. Perfect. Now the stage has been set. All of you are very welcome to participate in the party, however you would like to do so. And Jax, there were things you wanted to do.
Jax would walk over to Clue and just be like, Miss Irie said I'm her favorite, and walk away.
Oh my god.
I think Clue thinks about that, and he just kind of nods and thinks that sounds about right. And he doesn't even really care. He's like, yeah, I can see why.
That was really the main thing I wanted to do at the party. So.
Oh my god.
I love that.
I think sort of in line with the party. I think typically everyone has heard Clue's Blade song be sort of this sort of haunting, like windy melody, like that chimes in the wind, and then but in this case, sort of like sort of the sound of like Eastern instruments starts playing when he sort of whips his blade around as he starts going through these sort of classical dance motions. And there's like a specific song that I'm thinking of. Only Kevin, I think, would really. Maybe Nico, Doug, maybe you two might know it. But it's a song, "Rapid as Wildfires" from Genshin. It's like one of the main Liyue soundtracks.
Oh, maybe I know this.
Yeah. And that's sort of like the song he starts. This is like sort of the song he starts performing, and he drags several people into dance, whether or not they would accept or not. But he would try to drag Mitch Cherry. He would try to drag Akuta, Malachi, probably Akuta, Irie if she wanted to.
Akta absolutely does not dance. She just.
But would she let herself be dragged to dance?
Yes, yeah, sure. Like she doesn't care. She's just gonna stand there and sort of like wiggle. As for Irie, she's not gonna go and dance. She's both her and her clone are going to get flutes and perform the song itself as well.
I'm imagining Clue coming up and like grabbing Malachi's hand to like pull him into the dance ring, and his shadow arm just starts stretching out as his hand moves.
I'm not going.
Love
Yeah,
it.
no. I think Clue is going to just sort of go around and sort of bring people in to dance as he performs the Blade song. Which
Can
should
you
go
roll me a
for,
d20?
what, just for how many people can join in?
What does
No,
that
no,
mean?
just roll me. No, just roll me a d20. Okay, you reach into the crowd, bringing people in. I assume Jax is somewhere around still. You reach into the crowd and you pull onto the dance floor an individual whom you do remember, a very young human who was only recently kind of in charge of overseeing your troop. You have pulled Nara onto the dance floor and just kind of standing there awkwardly looking at you and just waves at you quietly as you're performing your
Malachi
your dance here.
immediately goes and finds Jax and like picks him up and puts him in front of Nara.
That's cool. Clue just kind of smiles at him, and sort of just takes his hand and sort of spins him around and sort of moves him through sort of like a general sort of like steps to this. It's very much just sort of like guiding, teaching with like very quick like adjustments with his hands, and just sort of gets him into the rhythm of the song, and he can kind of feel it. Like the Blade song is sort of like, it's almost magical in that way.
Mm-hmm.
Just sort of like helping him feel the rhythm.
And feel the rhythm he does, because after a few moments he begins to really get into it. And Malachi, if you do bring Jax and Jax doesn't resist.
What I
being
was gonna
brought onto
say
the dance
was,
floor. Yeah.
if Malachi is going to be looking for me, he would find me walking over to Rebecca.
Okay.
Oh, this is a tragic love story on the dance floor.
No, he's gonna like you're halfway there and he's gonna be like, hey, come on, get over here. We got someone
what?
looking for you.
Okay.
And then like he kind of like tries to like mislead you, like the way he brings you over the dance floor, you don't see Nara until like the last second and you're standing right in front of him, and he just kind of gives you an encouraging nudge forward.
Oh, hey, what's up?
Dance.
Nara dancing to the tunes that Clue has been teaching him in these few moments, encouraged by the magic and the music, will pause as he sees you and is looking you up and down and say, Jax, you've changed quite a lot since we saw each other.
Oh, yeah, you know, been hanging out. It's cold here.
He's also pledged himself to the Frost Maiden, you know.
Really? Have you now?
Yeah, well, I mean, we're pretty tight.
What do you... what do you mean you're tight, like... You're one of her...
They're paladins,
Follower?
yes.
kind of bows to you a little bit. Behold the Frost Maiden's glory.
Clue picks him right back up. No, we do not bow during dances. Only at the beginning and at the end.
Jax is like fist pumping.
Clue kind of starts
Can laundry.
shifting the beat, sort of like the help.
Yeah. What instrument are you playing?
Huh?
What instrument are you playing?
It's well, the Blade song. It's sort of strange. Like he's sort of slashing at the air, and you can hear like the strings from like what is that instrument called?
It's the
It's like the Eastern
lying,
harp.
it's the lying down one, right? Like the one where you plug the strings.
The quan.
Yeah,
It's essentially a harp, but
Yeah, it's with a Q, I think, right?
yeah, like the Quran.
That's something else. Harp with a Q.
You're not
No,
thinking of the
Chinese harp
shamisen,
thing.
are
No,
you?
no, it's not a shamisen. It's a guqin. Guqin.
Kuchin. Yeah, it is with a Q. It is, yeah. Kuchin.
Yeah,
I forgot
let me
how to
send
pronounce it.
send a picture. Let me send a
Okay.
picture.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's basically like a harp lying down, and you play it almost in the stance that you would play like a piano, but you're playing a string song, a string
You guys
instrument
have to
instead.
watch this video I put in the
It's pretty
chat.
cool.
Before
But
me.
if you're making those notes, then like the actual idea is, but they're indistinguishable. But the actual idea is playing a flute, and the other idea is playing like a big ass drum, doing like the bass.
Well, the video is of Clue playing, and then not the person behind Clue is not Irie, but that would be very funny if it was.
Let me. Now I have to open the video.
Now I'm kind of
Yeah.
curious.
But I need to do it on my phone because I don't have like my Instagram logged on.
That's okay. You don't have to. It doesn't. It didn't make me log in on the computer.
Wait, that's Daka.
It's.
That looks like Daka.
Why
I'm
is
just
it not
imagining
opening?
Clue with the cigarette.
That's fun, actually.
No. He does not smoke while performing, unfortunately. Maybe
Unfortunately.
I mean, it would be like kind of baller looking if Clue was smoking while doing all this. I don't think he has the cardio for that.
That would
I
be
literally-
so baller.
Just opened Instagram as you said you were like starting your Blade song, and I was like, this is too perfect.
Yeah. But it is this song he's trying to essentially playing. So he'd probably be on the string portions, and you could probably take care of the rest.
Yeah, I'm gonna take care of the flute and the drums. The clone like
Okay.
gets like those big old muscles to work. But as I notices this happening as well, like both her and the clone kind of give like a nod to each other and start making the beat a little, more slower paced.
A little sexy.
Yeah, she makes the beat more evil and sexy.
Yeah. Love it.
I think
Okay.
Clue sensing the vibe change, he's gonna adjust. He is a performer, if nothing else.
And because I don't want to get into what's inevitably gonna happen, we're gonna fade to black.
Yeah, I think I do try to drag everyone I can onto the
God.
Discord. I don't know if you want me to make a like persuasion check for this. But there are like
performance check.
performance check. Oh, I
Yeah.
get advantage on these as well, I believe.
Can I do persuasion to get Jax to dance with Nara?
Please do.
Don't force the guy to do things he doesn't want to do.
I'm fist bumping.
Everybody queer now.
Clue song make everyone really queer.
I'm definitely also gonna get up to things during that Fade to Black, but we're not gonna get into that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Clue
I
drags
don't want to know
literally
what you and your
everyone.
clone
No,
are
I
doing.
also don't want to get into that. Just to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
clear.
Yeah, I
I'm
don't want to
just
know what you and your clone are doing.
Yeah. Clue's he's literally dragging everyone like that is able to dance. Like I think he's going in like in tiers of difficulty. So like it starts off with like, Malachi is going to resist, but he's not going to resist Clue for long.
Well, you're gonna have trouble with Patish, that's for sure.
I was
Bro.
trying. I was literally. I saw Batish's name and I was just like, I don't want to make that joke, but maybe I should.
It's like right there.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
rolls onto the dance floor.
Get Cerise to dance. Get Rebecca to dance. Enya, then the Frostmaiden. Then
Neuteran's cutting the rug, bro.
yeah, no. Then I'm just like, then I see Newton from across like, you're gonna dance.
He's kind of tapping his foot initially, and then you bring him in.
Yeah, I like pull him in to dance, and then I get like him with Miss Cherry to dance. It's just like a big thing. He's sort of just going around using every single one of his Blade songs to do this.
Nidoran is a fucking menace, bro. If he steps on your toe, it's just gone.
He
Like,
starts-
it's gone. You don't have a toe anymore.
He starts breakdancing.
Oh my
If he
god.
actually starts breakdancing, Clue is like going crazy.
Absolutely, he will. Wait, let me roll for breakdance.
Oh no, don't do that. He's gonna break the entire fucking.
He just doesn't understand breakdance, and then like the whole palace collapses.
And it just goes, I apologize to the Tainted Ones. I was not familiar with your game.
It was not familiar.
There we go. He dances the fuck out
Oh
of this.
shit! Newton can get groovy with it.
Absolutely.
He kinda bad.
Newton's getting sturdy. What?
He's hitting the gritty on the dance floor. Love it.
Who expected
love
this
it.
white man to have no swag? And he came in with the business.
My god, okay. And as these festivities are happening, we finally cut to black. And then we cut back to all of you in the morning or at any point during the day, reconvening as Heidi will bring up these ideas she had for all of you. And you can respond to her as you would like to.
Who's hungover?
Everybody roll con saves.
Yeah, roll con saves for intoxication.
I'm with it.
Oh, a little tipsy, Clue.
15?
You're a kid.
That's true. Also, technically, Clue's not allowed to drink alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
Not
Well-
because he's just a kid, but because he gets kind of like touchy when
Oh,
he's
man.
when he's drunk.
Bruh.
I'm glad we cut to black.
Yeah.
Is there? There's no like resistance to poison or anything, right? On Paladin?
No longer, I think.
Not anymore, weirdly.
No. Okay. Because I was gonna
Paladins are
say
never resistant to poison.
you should just
It's
regular con
diseases.
save.
Oh, true. Well, alcoholism is kind of a disease.
Yeah.
Nice, you're so fine. Heidi
Jack's
doesn't drink,
pretty
right?
No, Aiden doesn't drink, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Clue's a little tipsy, everybody else is fine. So Clue's like, so who's the hungover? Everyone else just looks at him like, boy. Boy.
I didn't.
I mean, I went to bed pretty early, so
So did Nara, surprisingly.
yeah. Nara left pretty sad. I don't know why.
I just punch him in the head.
Yeah. That shadow hand hurts. I thought that would like go right through me or something. I don't know.
You know, I thought I was bad with like the whole like romance thing, but you're like the worst.
Yeah, I like tried to go find Rebecca, but I couldn't find her anywhere.
Hmm. I wonder why.
Okay.
Anyway.
Just slaps himself awake. All right, so what are we doing? Point of business.
Yes. So regarding our next steps, and then Iris says everything that I had just said like 10 minutes ago, because I'm not
Yep.
gonna repeat all that shit.
Does everybody remember?
Yeah, Iris basically, you know, trying to divide us up best she can to make things efficient, so we can do almost everything we need to do
Mhm.
as quickly as possible.
Yeah. Or
Either
we all
either-
go together to Primavera.
Correct. What was that? Nice necklace, sweetie.
Oh, it might be the television behind
Yeah,
me.
it's fine, it's fine.
I have a
just hear
600 square foot apartment, so
It's so fine. I just hear
Not
bits and
very
pieces here and there, and I'm like, oh, I wonder what's going on there.
I don't know how to make my mic like less sensitive to the things behind me.
It's only every now and then, so it's like,
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
I mean, I'm okay doing whatever. Although La Sauvagerie does sound cool.
As far as Primavera goes, I mean, unless there's something, unless you really need protection or my eyes, I'm not exactly sure if there's much in terms of what are we getting things like eyes there, are we fortifying there, are we bringing people there?
We would fortify it, yes. Well, we would go there, see what is left of the city, if there's anything we could use there that the Psychic Sisters for some reason didn't bring with them or left behind deliberately. And all things considered, it is a very defensible location, so we could gather some troops as much as we can, at least, and have them defend the city like an outpost, with an escape route, of course, if the enemy forces get to them in big numbers. But a forest is a good place for guerrilla tactics. So that is the tactical value of taking back Primavera. It is not game-changing, but it can be useful, especially in protecting Invierno further. But again, the other option is to make sure the resistance can fortify that Lehman's Land place faster, and securing the help of the dwarves. It had, yes. Basically every place we have been to has been taken back so far.
To unite La Sauvagerie and Invierno. If we were to proceed to Zwischenstadt from there, we would be able to isolate anyone in Primavera and then have a direct road to Granuvel. Though if he does have forces in Primavera, we could end up fighting on two fronts.
I'd rather take Neiman's Land, if only because it connects Invierno and La Sauvagerie, and then Krishanak is not far off. Primavera is, well, the way that the sort of landmass works on this, let's call it continent, because I don't really know what to call this place, honestly. The mountains and the Frostmane's domain make it hard for them to come from the west in the first place. So sharing up our defenses on sort of eastern side of the world is probably more tenable than anything.
Describe La Sauvagerie so we get an idea of the status in those places.
Is that a surprise?
That's my scrying noise.
Love it.
That's what scrying sounds like.
Where would you like to scry first?
Well, it's up to Heidi to cast the spell, because I don't know.
Where do you want to get to scry?
Sauvagerie and Primavera. Or like one or the other, or both.
Can't the reason them just tell us? Does Lord Bogle, can he scry?
Bogle.
Bubble?
Go.
Gogol.
Gogol.
It's
Google.
like Google, but like not.
Just like that, yeah.
It's like Google, except it's not Google at all.
Yeah.
It's like Google has
Let me
that kind of-
see how it's great.
It's like Maliaki, but not.
Creature you choose. Sorry.
I will
location
say,
types.
kind of above table, probably not incorrect, that Gogol could probably look that way, so Ida could really just focus on Primavera instead.
Yeah, I'm gonna create a spraying sensor over the city of Primavera, sort of like overhead the city, so I can take a look at the city's overall stage.
Okay.
So,
And-
I've never cast a spell. How do I would have a water field font. No, a mirror. A mirror seems the most appropriate.
Well, you've done the
Definitely.
water stuff with Lunar Well before, so it wouldn't be out of place, right?
Yeah, it wouldn't.
But it
But also
has
it-
to be a different thing.
Yeah, the spell has to be it. And I love the vibe. I do love the vibe. But it's very impractical to carry around a water basin and have to fill it with water every time you cast a spell. So I feel like she would be like, a mirror is better.
Fair.
Scrying, from what I understand, can you look at an area rather than...
Yeah,
Person.
you can target a location that you have seen before. It's at the very end of the spell. Instead of
Oh, that's
targeting
where
a
it is.
creature,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can
yeah.
target a location you
Yeah.
have seen.
Perfect. In that case, I don't believe you would need any roll unless I'm rolling it incorrectly, but it seems like the rolls are effectively to give live targets an opportunity to reject it if they wanted to.
Yeah, it's if you're trying to track a creature, essentially, like sort of like spy on them. If you're just trying to
at a place.
tag a location, yeah, it's fine.
Okay. Perfect. So you cast your sensor above Primavera, probably just a few hundred feet above the location where you had all been before, and below you, you will see the near perfect circle of trees that spans several miles out from the city. The trees here are still the golden hue that you had seen as you had last been there, the golden hue that you had helped restore within these trees after the corruption had taken that color from them and had turned most of the forest dark, tainted hue. But looking at the city itself, you'll immediately notice that there is smoke rising from below. And focusing down a little bit more, you'll still see the trees that make this capital what it is. The trees into which you had seen these buildings being built into, the homes being built into. And from them there's smoke rising, not necessarily from crazy fires that are happening and going on still, but smaller fires that still remain within Primavera, and singed bits and pieces here and there that are letting the smoke run up into the sky. You see no movement below you, besides a few birds rising from treetops here and there, and perhaps if you might see a few multi-legged creatures walk amongst the trees in certain locations. But the capital looks not entirely ruined, but certainly what's the word? Injured is for people. For a people. For a person. What did I say? This
Say the landscape.
not this devastated, I guess. That sounds so extreme.
Ruin.
It's not
Damaged?
ruined, it's damaged, I would say, yeah. It's damaged in certain areas. You can see that some of the trees have been felled. There are many others that are still standing, but clearly have been damaged by, be it spells or be it just physical attacks. You cannot see into the interior of any of the buildings since they have been built into the trees, but you do recall that there, atop the main tree of Primavera, there was a section where the Oracle had resided, and that portion of the tree is flat, completely. You do recall the set of stairs that you had walked up has been singed, burned. You see a few bodies lying on the stairs of these, and if you remember, the kind of silvery orb that had been at the very top of this building is now no longer there. So either it has been destroyed, taken, or the oracle itself has moved from this location. That would be the most immediate thing that you can see from this location, although you can't really make out the state of the interior of the buildings themselves. So it is damaged, certainly not ruined or completely devastated. So you think that with a little bit of a dedicated effort, you could probably get things looking all right.
Well, it is certainly quite damaged and overrun with a few inconvenient guests, but not completely destroyed. We could still rebuild it. It wouldn't be like rebuilding a city from scratch or anything. Just be repairing a few things, and it would be in serviceable condition for an outpost. But I will say, I am presenting the options. At the end of things, I do concur that a two-pronged approach to take back Neiman's Land and enlist the aid of Krishnak is more efficient.
If it doesn't look like the king is massing any forces there, then we can likely ignore Primavera for now. If we retake Svishenstadt, we may want to station some forces there to make sure that no one can sneak up behind us. Beyond that, it'll just be a capital left to the king.
Right.
In general, I just think my count's more suited to taking a land than restoring one. Fortunately or unfortunately.
Does anyone else have arguments in favor or against? I don't think that is a no.
Newman's Land.
Yes. All that is left is to decide our exact division. Last I checked, I was going to Krishnak negotiate with the dwarves, and Jax had volunteered to come alongside me. But that is not set in stone. If any of us thinks that would be a different arrangement would be more beneficial.
If you guys got it, then you got it.
Yeah, I mean, so when it comes to the orcs and stuff, there's no way that we try to, quell the differences between the two sides.
See, that is the approach I would take. I'm not sure those two will.
I'll talk with Strace and see how tenable that is. But, sometimes all it takes is a little bit of background knowledge to know that it may or may not work out like that.
I'm just saying, I feel like it would be better to continue to bolster our numbers in attempts to just make sure we're at an advantageous point against Pandora and everybody here. So trying to quell tensions might help the orcs go on our side.
You just need to find what makes them thick and dangle it over their heads.
If we can, then I'll definitely take that approach.
If you need some help and we're done with Krishnak, expeditiously will join you, and then I can do some things about that.
And I feel like me being there, you know, like a cave kind of dweller myself, short stature, may find me a bit relatable.
More than that, but if the stereotypes about dwarves are true, they might respect having a warrior that uses implements of war.
Yeah.
Alongside myself. Besides, it always emanates a certain respect when someone like myself is clearly accompanied by a powerful warrior as a sort of bodyguard, if you will.
Thanks.
It shows that you are someone important.
Thanks, powerful, man. I'm really coming up roses over here.
I mean, all of us are plenty powerful, aren't we? We've
Okay.
survived things most people wouldn't.
I'm just saying, you've given me more compliments in the last like 24 hours than the entire journey we spent together. So I'm feeling pretty good. This is good.
Don't get too used to it.
I won't.
But I'm not one to undersell talent. Unless I'm trying to buy it for myself. In which case I might try to haggle. But other than that,
Alright, sounds like we have a game plan. So we're gonna split up, try to conquer these two tasks, and then from there we're looking to go back to Shatrix for a bit.
well, if along the length of our journeys I do manage to increase my powers a little bit, one could say that my magical energy is about to reach the next level, even. Once it does, I will have the necessary power to bring us back to my place of origin, which I will have to do, as I said, for my own purposes. Again, I'm not asking for anyone to decide in definitive whether they're going with me or not, but as soon as I am capable of, I will make this request to you again. And then those of you who are coming along, we will be making a little bit of a sidetrack.
How long do you think this errand in your homeland will take? Time is of the essence here.
It is, but that is precisely why I am, after we're done talking here, I will begin running the numbers and everything else in Invierno to make sure this place is defensible for the short term. I
At the very
don't know
least.
how long it's going to take. It will take at least a week.
At the very least. Once we figure out Newman's Land, we're going to try to set up some sort of informal, let's say, port station in Newman's Land. That would take some time, even if we got everyone to cooperate.
Yes. Time is maybe of the essence, but you do have to remember the circus is only down to 3 more clowns. I know clown is technically the king's moniker, but they're all clowns to me.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, that's good.
Anyway, they're only down to three of them left. They've taken a pretty big blow, the Psyche Sisters and Ira all being out of the picture. And, like the child said, we're going to need some time to set up all of the defenses. I think it's going to be fine for the most part. If I'm being frank, this undertaking is something that normally I would expect to spend a good deal of my life working towards. Considering that we tend to do things abnormally fast, I would gauge it at something like a month, perhaps.
Like, what exactly is this?
I am only revealing such information before we depart. I am willing to share details of my personal business with those who are going to accompany me.
A month is a
But
lot
since
of
I am
time.
not asking you to make the decision right now, I am also not saying anything right now.
A month
Like-
is a lot of time for the King's forces to regroup. Do you think whichever of the tainted ones, as you call them, in your homeland might be able to manipulate some time in return for
Let me give you a little bit of a lesson in Hun history ahead of time, since it doesn't concern my personal history. The gods of my land have been sealed inside of a holy artifact by all of the other tainted ones in Shatrix. So no, they're not going to be able to help on such a great scale because they've been prevented to.
Does time here pass the same there?
Yes, I have verified that early on. I don't think they would be able to pull a stunt like the Bones, no. So,
In the first place, the Feywild is strange with time in the first place. It sort of works on a weird curve.
quite. We can try to figure things out. And, for what it's worth, 1 month is my own personal estimation. Who knows what we're going to find out there, but even then, it is an undertaking of some significance. I'm not going to sugarcoat it.
Wait until after we've dealt with Cronyuvel.
I have already said this. I will not risk my life having unfinished things that hang on my duties, my responsibilities.
This could ultimately kill you if we don't manage this.
Hmm.
No, she said she's not willing to risk tying in Cronyuvel and leaving that unfinished.
Yes.
Because apparently she's the only one who can do it.
Is there like a vague description that you can give me? Like, is this like a revenge thing? Is this like a power thing? Like, is this that you owe somebody? Like, can I just get something? I don't have to find details. It just will help me wrap my head around what I'm walking into a little bit.
There are records that need to be set straight.
Okay, I can get with that.
Sounds personal.
That is why I said it's personal affairs. Though it's also a responsibility.
Well,
Another question. How long do you think it would take for them to maybe even like fill some of these circus seats potentially?
Well, people of the Psychic Sisters' power or Andalyn Moongrave, they don't come along just at the flick of a wrist. They are very rare individuals. Besides, I can't imagine it's very easy for the king to bring people into his prison.
Right. So like, what
Especially
is
now that Tyrion and the others will probably be on the lookout for Pandora's believers.
Yeah, so I mean, what's the worst that happens over the course of a month here?
The King's
I-
existing forces wipe out all of the resistance that we've managed to build up. We can begin
Need I
to
remind
believe
you?
the Acrobat is incredibly powerful, and he's got two others with similar ability.
We spent a month in Primavera before, and nothing happened.
That was before we learned the King's true identity, and his
True enough. But still. They are also down more members now. And we are up
Yeah, I
one
think
Frost
like,
Maiden.
that's what I'm saying. I feel like we're in an advantageous position. I think everyone here is working towards a common goal for the most part. So as long as we, settle these affairs, at least for the time being, I think it would put us in a decent position to at least handle this for the moment.
My point being, going off to handle these affairs will in no way improve our standing here. It will just take
Well,
care of your personal business, and we
yes.
stand only to lose ground.
I am not. Listen. I'm not out to convince anyone to come alongside me. I simply could use the help, and therefore am requesting it.
And what I'm
And if
trying
I-
to say is, if we all help, we can maybe make this happen faster.
It's true.
And
And
Miss
to be
Irie is very powerful, so having her on our side for this would be very helpful.
I don't disagree with how I disagree with time. There's a lot we
Well-
still have to lose here and the time it takes us to settle those affairs.
well, the timeline is final. I'm not changing that. I will not go attack Pandora with these.
But okay, so how about this? Hear me out. Is there any world where we take out, maybe the snake charmer and the snake, and then do that?
I would be all for it if we had a location to attack them at. But we would have to essentially dig them up from somewhere, make them crawl out of their holes. I don't know how long that's going to take. And like I said, all that is stopping me from going back home right now is the fact that I literally cannot use the magic yet. But it won't take long for me to be able to.
Right. So
If that happens when I am halfway through a fight with one of the circus members, then of course I'm going to finish the fight.
Right.
But if not, I'm not sticking around.
Right. So let's at least begin working on these things here. We'll go speak to the dwarves. You guys will head over to No Man's Land or whatever the heck it's called. And once we finish these tasks, we can reconvene and set another game plan. We may get more information on the whereabouts of some of the circus members. We may
We do
get
have
information. So
a bit of. Well, I'm sure he may have defenses for it. We still do have that bug to try to track down the pirate or the acrobat.
acrobat, yeah. I mean, that's another option too. It's just if we could get two birds with one stone, that might be better. But if that's the option we end up with,
I kind of want to take his ship.
could be pretty cool.
Need to get around. We should also have a contingency plan for if one of the three lieutenants shows up to one of the groups, so that we can try to reunite and face them as quickly as possible.
I think we'll have to speak with Ellipsia on that. I think she'll be essential in sort of dissuading any of the generals from making any rash moves. That's why I would like to at least take down one more general before committing to leaving here.
Right. And
If we can
Miss
take
Irie,
down the acrobat, then I don't think the snake charmer is bold enough to go against such a large force, for whatever reason, Pandora deciding to reside in Granuel. And there is still the matter of his lover, or love, that we might be able to resolve.
So, if we're like hot on the tail of the Acrobat Messiah and this magic becomes available to you, like we're a day or two away from resolving this. Do you think you
Well-
could hold off on your personal matters?
She only mentioned Pandora, not
No, I know.
another general.
Well, but she mentioned that once this magic becomes available, she has to go take care of this
Listen, I
with or
don't
without us.
have time to spend dawdling about.
Right, but
We're-
I'm saying we're
If we're
very
at the
close.
doorstep of one of the generals, then sure.
That's okay. All right, good.
If
all
we're
on the
just
same page.
chasing, if we're just chasing them somewhere or about to embark on something like that, I'm not waiting around.
Right. Okay. I'm with you. I get it. All right. I mean, I feel pretty good about this, honestly. I think we should set out and do what we need to do here. See if any information becomes available to us. Ideally, we find out where one of these generals are, take them out, and then we go handle some matters. That's ideal.
Yes. At any rate, like I said before, I'm only asking for a proper answer when I'm capable of leaving. For now, it is a little pointless to discuss the matter. We can just move on to our designated assignments for the time being.
Alright. I think that should be good for now. We'll head to No Man's Land with Cerise and them. See what we can do.
I will talk to Ellipsia about restructuring Invierno, making it into a functional, self-sustaining capital.
Oh,
And then when
I
we
just had a
can-
brain blast. I'm sorry.
Coming from
Oh.
you, that is very concerning.
Hear me out.
Do not start like that.
People are quarreling over Noman's land or whatever you guys are saying, right? What if we take one of the groups from there and gift them Primavera?
You know what? That is actually the smartest thing I have ever heard come out of your mouth.
Listen, I'm on a roll. These last 24 hours have been pretty great.
But you're absolutely correct. I don't know what the goals of those groups are. But if there is one of them that seems significantly larger or more powerful than the others, and they are hell-bent on claiming their own territory, you can absolutely offer Primavera to them.
Alright. We'll talk to Cerise about it. Sounds like
I mean, if there are two different groups, one of them can have No Man's Land and the other can have Primavera.
what's old saying? Not my monkeys, not my circus.
I have no idea what the heck you're talking about.
And besides, I can make them step in line. Push comes to shove. I have
You're onto something.
spells very suited for that kind of thing. What?
All of the king's followers are monkeys.
I'm pretty sure a few of them are lizards.
At least one of them is.
Endling was kind of just a skeleton, hard to tell.
Can anyone turn them into monkeys?
The magician,
She's dead now.
yes.
I'm too hungover for this train of thought. Cerise, we should go.
When does Cerise get here?
No, like, we should go find Cerise. I'm talking to Malachi.
Jax, do you have your sword of magic? Says attacking.
This hungover assassin will kick your ass, shut up.
What's this? Let's see.
I'm not really hungover. There's nothing to do.
I know, I'm just joking about the lesser restoration. Clear that hangover real good.
There's nothing to fix here.
Anyway.
Thus restoration is there.
Clue's trudging. Unless anyone else has something to add to this conversation.
No. I'm gonna go talk to Frostmaiden.
Okay.
As we're departing, Jax is gonna tap Clue on the shoulder and just say, "Yeah, feel better," and you will feel better.
That was not a request. It was
that was
an
a
order.
threat.
You know what's funny? Healing magics can't. No such thing as an unwilling creature. It's like, nah, you get healed, motherfucker.
It just says
True.
you touch a creature and end a condition. You don't have to be willing.
Yeah, whether they want to or not.
Yeah.
I didn't consent. Your consent was not on the table.
Okay. The maiden is awaiting.
All right. I'm gonna talk to the Frostmaiden, but essentially, like, just tell her what our plans are. We decided on that course of action. But also, like, sort of start assessing with her. Like, okay, what are the crops that your people usually grow? What are the animals, the produce that they usually make? What about the people at La Sauvagerie? Like, what kinds of things can be made inside the city itself without relying on, like, external areas? Because we would like to keep everything within the city in case of a siege. A layout of the city itself, so we can start assigning, like, quarters, like, okay, this is where we're going to do production work, cattle, livestock, etc. These are, like, the military places. Actually, we're gonna have several military outposts, because that's the city's main purpose now. Living quarters, sort of, also business areas, etc. Like, start mapping out what the people are used to doing, like, what's the demographic, and then playing to its strengths, so that Invierno can become this self-sustaining capital, like, it gets all of its water and food and resources from within the city itself, and has a primary production on, like, fortified walls, proper, like, militarily trained personnel, like everyone who is ready and willing, that is not essential to the living conditions and everything. Like, obviously there's got to be, like, entertainment and stuff, so we're not just drafting everyone, but still, like, the focus is on having a fighting force. And people who have magical gifts, like, they will have to put those gifts to use. It's not an option.
Okay. Now, do you have that written down? I have most of it.
No, I don't have them written down.
Okay.
But I can sort of, like, organize things better later.
Okay.
But yes, we're going to make, like, a proper, like, city plan, like, folded, like, streets and resource, like, whatchamacallit, like, so that there's a flow to things.
Yeah.
Like a flux, so that things can, in a dire strait, like, be expeditiously conveyed to places. Also, like, a big important thing is that all over the city there are going to be, like, shrines, altars churches, etc., to the Frost Maiden. Like, it's sort of like if you were not very religious before, you are very religious now because it is literally a matter of survival.
Okay. Okay, I like it.
Yeah, like you guys praying literally fuels the city, so get to praying.
No, I like that because that's also very much understanding the mechanic there. That's very cool.
Yeah. So
It's not, actually it's not a mechanic. That's reality.
yeah. So we're essentially the city is going to be planned for the long term, but at the same time with a very big emphasis on military production that is going to serve it in the short term, which in the future IRD is already like kind of like thinking ahead. Like some of the military areas can be like disassembled and repurposed into like factories or smithies and things like that are more suited for daily life. But for now they're going to be soldier areas and also like magical training facilities, etc. Like, okay, everyone who as a child may have accidentally cast a cantrip, like come here and we're gonna train you up so you can cast actual magic.
Okay.
So I'm gonna work on that.
I think I have most of it, but definitely do. Work on that, organize it, and I think that would be a good one to do in the in-character chat, just for everybody.
And once I have gotten all of that underway, and I will leave my clone here while I'm away in Krishnak to supervise the building of all of the borders, make sure everyone is stationed and every citizen is accounted for and has like a home, a residence. Once all of that is settled and the clone can take care of it by herself, Ida is going to like fetch Jax and be like, hey, we're going to Krishnak.
Ready whenever you are.
Okay. Anybody wanna do something before they travel? Clue, Malachi. Because I do think that the moment they take off, I will call it for the night.
Short rest, long. We haven't taken a long rest yet,
You
right?
We
slept,
have.
you slept. Yeah,
We slept after the party, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Unless
Yeah, that was after the party.
the big
We
party.
like the party. We like
Oh
the
right,
party.
I guess party happened. Right, we slept over the party.
Yeah.
Unless.
Unless
No,
all
all
nighter.
night.
Yeah.
Bang.
No, oh my.
I like how I can turn you into like a mother clutching her pearls. Like just like a phrase.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness, the kids are talking about sex again.
Miss Cherry overheard me say bang.
You're only 7.
They're only 7 and talking about sex like that is crazy. What's going on nowadays?
I was talking about banging on the door.
Oh, sweetie, my bad. I misunderstood.
Why are you southern now?
I don't know. It's the most clutch pearl energy ever.
I just want to find Cerise and ask her if the people in No Man's Land would be open to negotiation.
Well, shit, that's still southern. Well, how do I put this? Usually, they simply approach us wanting to fight, and she kind of air quotes this, take over La Sauvagerie. And I'll be honest with you, Chloe, they stand no chance. It's a little annoying at this point. But we have never really had an opportunity to talk much to them. They come in, weapons drawn, bloodshot eyes, and ready to run themselves into our weapons. If you find a way to talk to them and convince them otherwise, I'm sure that would be fine. So long as it is safe, of course.
Well, we were talking, and since the elves no longer are part of Vernal and Primavera is open, we were thinking perhaps we could offer them the sort of remnants of the kingdom if they want a place to call their home.
Wait. You are wanting to send orcs to the old home of elves? That's peculiar.
Sacrilegious, I know, but if it gets them on our side and stops the fighting, then I don't really quite care how we do it.
I suppose that could work. I wish you the best of luck in convincing them. I, for one, would be all for it. How do I put this? I might be good on the battlefield, but that doesn't mean that I think violence is necessarily a means to an end, if that makes sense.
You're very pleasant to talk to, yes.
I appreciate that.
Still owe me the smoke.
Say that again?
Still owe me that smoke.
Ah, well.
I looks around.
I think before you take off, we might have a chance.
Yeah, I didn't want to.
Very much whispers it to you here.
Yeah, I didn't want to do it in front of Miss Cherry. I always get this guilty feeling on my conscience whenever.
I understand. She has a very motherly energy, does she not?
Oh no, for sure. It's like radiating.
Very much so. And from what I understand, she is old as balls.
I didn't say that.
I didn't say it either. I heard it. I'm just repeating it.
Jax is gonna move to Las Fageria at some point. This is awesome.
She is what they call a MILF.
I mean, technically, my mom's a. No, never mind. I'm not saying that.
Your mom is old like that as well.
My mom is a couple hundreds of years old. I could just show you, and Clue snaps his fingers.
Wow.
And this is disguise self.
Oh mon dieu. But she looks 15.
Oh, I'm not. Oh, right, yeah. Ages. Remembering. Yeah, she's, everyone from my race kind of looks pretty good. But anyway, yeah, I guess we'll try to negotiate. I'd rather not do anything with bloodshed.
I agree. And it wouldn't really be bloodshed, Flo. It would kind of be eradicating a people if it were to come to battle.
Okay, not making me feel better about this, Cerise.
I'm just saying.
I know. Maybe say a little less.
Fine. Call me when it's time for the smoke. I haven't had one in a minute.
Oh, okay. For a second there, I thought you meant the battle.
No.
Call me when it's time for the smoke, you son. Yo, I'm ready to swing anytime. Okay. I will. See you later, Sirius. Thanks.
Of course.
Find Malachi.
He would have
So-
been nearby, maybe finding Lord Gogol to ask if he could look in on La Sauvagerie.
So, taking them over wouldn't necessarily be a problem. More problematic is crave battle and, by Cerese's own words, willingly walk on to our spears for death. They don't seem like the brightest bunch.
That's what they want, and they won't listen to reason. We can give that to them.
Well,
It would be easier to just relocate them.
numbers are numbers. People that... I hate saying it like this. People this easy to manipulate may be useful in terms of bodies. guess we'll try our best. You were going to talk to Lord Gogol? Cool. Tag along for this one.
Okay. Okay.
Go.
Go to go.
We go.
You go to
Wake
go
me
go.
up before you go.
You no. Wake me up or you go.
Prepare for this. Or
We
it
still
could
haven't
take
recovered
far
from
too long.
yesterday.
No. Everybody.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Singing and partying.
Please just talk
The-
to
the
Ruru
other
so we can
yesterday.
Speed this man along.
We played D&D yesterday, and our DM had 80s music, and we
We
somehow
played
knew
Tales
all the
from the
songs.
Loop. We literally did not play D&D.
That was D&D to me. I don't care.
It's all D&D. We're role playing.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Anyway, you find Gogol very easily. He is a tall man with huge antlers. You find him, and in his usual, somewhat slow manner, he'll kind of turn toward you and say, the heroes. Can I help you?
Comfortable to hear.
He begins to nod his head, and his chin is pointing up at the sky for a few seconds before he then completes the nod, also taking his time with that even. And then he'll say, yes, I looked into it last night while the festivities were underway.
Nice moves, by the way.
These old bones were made for dancing.
We should do more parties, guys.
He's just looking at you both now.
Was there something else? Well, okay. I was really lost.
What is the current state of the land?
Yeah, he told you he looked into it. He just didn't tell you what he saw. But
That was why.
I-
That's the follow-up question.
he will say, our capital is untouched thus far. I had ordered the capital's guard to man the castle and prepare for defense. And it seems that those mindless jesters are far too unorganized to do any real damage.
So there's been
I go on.
So there's been no sign of the snake charmer.
No leader, no. I know not what the state
is in the land beyond the capital, but the capital is safe.
That's good at least. Our plan is to rejoin Vienna as taking control of its land. Perhaps some of your forces would get with us. And some of them can return to Vienna to our
Certainly. I believe we can teleport back to our outpost and head on out from there.
Right. If you could, and the people that would be accompanying us, bring someone that can or is good at communicating with those peoples. I'm not sure, do they speak the common tongue or...
From the reports I have read, they appear hostile at all times. But if you are looking for someone great at communicating with almost anyone, my dear General, Cerise should be of help to you.
I wouldn't want to take her from you, from the capital, if she's necessary, but if you think she'd be useful in these negotiations, I guess I should put our cards on the table. They've been attacking your land because they want it, I assume, or perhaps a battle, but if it's land they want, we figured we could give them Primavera.
Orcs in Elvish land?
Yes, I know, very sacrilegious.
Everyone's reaction is the same.
It's just, the Clue's life is just a lot of people reacting to him in very similar ways because everything that he tells them is like,
The fuck, bro?
it's like
We're gonna get to
they tell
Han.
people for a living. It's just like, oh, you're an assassin? That's kind of crazy. It's just like, I know.
We're gonna get to Han, and we're gonna tell that to like some random bystander, and they're gonna be like, "Elfu no kuni wa okuni."
I can't do that, but yes, they would.
Okuwa assassin?
Interesting. But as for my needs, General Rebecca is a force to be reckoned with.
Well, if that's the case, we will gladly bring her along.
I am sure she would be excited to join you.
Alright. Then, having not too long had not seeing her, she'll hear a message in her head. I'm not gonna, we'll keep it short. I didn't need all 25 for it. Well, Cerise, looks like you're gonna give me that secret a little bit sooner than later. You'll be coming with us to No Man's Land. negotiations, or if negotiations break down, whichever comes first.
Oh, hell yes. Well, let me know when we depart. Did you talk to Lord Gogol about it, or is this your own choice?
She doesn't get a message back because I don't want to spend that many.
Oh
sending.
my.
She's probably close enough. We could just use the message cantrip.
How far away is she?
How far is message?
120
120?
feet.
She's 130 away right now,
Fuck!
unfortunately.
Well, we walked
No,
away
she's-
from Lord Gogol, so.
No, she's a decent way away. She's not immediately right there. If Lord Gogol was immediately by the main keep, she was a little further out on the streets, kind of helping everybody clean up. There we go. Or well, how should I put this? It's not like she gets her hands dirty necessarily, since she is such a good commander. She directs people in the correct ways.
Works for me. I mean,
But you-
all this.
You can eventually easily find her and communicate what's going on with her.
Yeah, I'll explain to her I'll give her the lowdown and Lord Gogol's permissions.
Perfect. Well, party, I think since I now have a better idea as to where you want to go and what's next, this is a solid point for me to call it for the night. So I have an opportunity to prepare all of this as well for next time. You're splitting the party.
The party.
And since that is a thing, I'm wondering if we should do 2 sessions instead of 1, so people don't have to sit in and just do nothing, and we could have the people that are not part of a mission take on the role of 2 NPCs and participate. I don't know if Heidi had thought to bring more. Correct. I don't know if Heidi had necessarily thought to bring people other than herself and Jax to Krishnak, but the option would be on the table if she wanted to bring 2 more helpers or something along for the other 2 players to then take on those roles, so everybody gets to play the next 2 sessions and participate in some way.
Oh my god, we can just both make dwarves.
Wait, should we make twin dwarves?
Oh my god.
I'm
My
open to
name
that
Bird,
because it's
my
almost
name-
like as if we're playing
Wait,
a
wait.
side campaign.
Yeah.
Hold on, wait. Let me just message.
Or also, what you could do, you could have just like sessions on Mondays to resolve one of these timelines, and then we can switch once one of them is resolved, and go back to Irie and Jax or Clue and Malachi.
For sure. I mean, if people would prefer that and just